It's funny though, because we've seen kind of the two styles of MKOI over the course of the year in this tournament. We got the Yunara draft, which was heavily focused on protect the Supa against KT in their game, but they unfortunately weren't able to pick it up. And instead, they've now fallen back to, which is what Team Secret Wales are prioritizing, the Ryzes, the Talias, the Gallios for Jojo Pyun in the mid lane to try and play that more 1-3-1 style.
I see a lot of stuff up, guys. All right, we've got Orianna, Azir, and Yunara all available and only one more ban. So we're looking at a big trade of power picks.
And the question is, do you ban the Yunara and just swap those mid laners between the two teams? Do you get rid of the Azir, take the Yunara for yourself if you're Team Secret Wales? I think that might be where they're looking.
Yeah, I'm curious because Yunara is such a strong pick for MKOI, and they've shown they're very comfortable to give Orianna across and play the Galio into it with Jojo Pyun. We saw that against KT, and it may be a similar call here, but instead, they have learned their lesson. They were a little bit struck by the Orianna shockwave, and they're not going to give it across.
MKOI deciding to take away that massive teamfight ultimate that hurt them so much with BDD on that KT roster. It does mean, though, Sion and Yunara, very easy here for Team Secret Wales if they just want to go down that tier list. Pick the top laner that has the most impact. I would be surprised if Pun went across towards that Rumble, but it is going to be the Sion for him.
Yeah, I mean, it's his most played champion. It's the champion of the tournament so far. Now, the problem is, if you don't pick the Trundle with it, then obviously MKOI can just pick Trundle, and Trundle's very, very good in Assign, not only because of the ultimate, but also because of your pillar. And so you do have to think that might be in the works for MKOI.
Yeah, I think you take the Trundle here, you're more than happy with the position that you've ended up in. And now you can also opt in towards something like a Corki here for Supa in the bottom side. Just try and nullify the matchup into the Yunara and have this still very, very strong team fight off those picks.
And then when you're looking at Merwin as far as his individual champion into sign up on the top side, then you're thinking like, oh, is it the Ambessa Aatrox angle? Because we haven't seen a ton of success from the champions that have played into Sion, obviously because Sion's win rate is so high. But the Trundle that we were expecting indeed picked up here for Elyoya. And so I think it's all really going according to the current meta that we've seen already at the tournament.
Team Secret Wales, when they played against KT, did look for the Jarvan Galio combination to try and punish Cuz on that Trundle early game. So there is a possibility here. They pick the Jarvan, they save the Galio for second rotation, and they try and get into MKOI's jungle early on.
All right, no curveballs yet. Then we also get the Ambessa, the most picked champion into it as well. So pretty much as far as game one of this series, everything's going straightforward.
Yeah, I do think we're going to get that Jarvan lock in here. Could already see his was kind of hovering it, but it does mean there's an opportunity here for MKOI to ban away the Galio and make things a little bit more difficult. But if you end up going for the Galio, I think your jungle ends up a bit too pinched for the situation that you're in. And they're not going to take either. Instead, looking towards that Alistar in the support role.
I'm looking for someone that can be another part of that beefy front line for Team Secret Wales here. The question is, will they be able to find enough damage outside of just the Yunara? Like, if you start to ban away some of those mid lane mages, MKOI can try and pinch that pool a little bit. There are still a lot of options, though, for Dire.
I think the other thing here now is that because you've got the Alistar, you can start to ban away things like the Rel if you want to, the Leona, the Nautilus, and just say, hey, look, we're going to make Alvaro a little bit uncomfortable in that bottom side of the map. And also by removing that engage tools, it means that this Ambessa is kind of just by herself, diving in onto the backline with the public execution, which does make things significantly easier for Team Secret Wales to just deal with that singular threat.
I like the Nico ban, because, yeah, you're banning one of the engaged champs that's also could be problematic in lane and provide a strong duo lane for them. Of course, when you've got the Alistar as well, don't want to have to worry about Poppy W's. Same thing for Yunara. So Poppy, we've seen a lot of value from Poppy picks so far this tournament. Definitely finding this one here as well.
I actually think Poppy on either side would have been quite nice here. Like, if I'm Team Secret Wales, I'm looking at Poppy. It's Ambessa can't get onto the back line. If MKOI look for a follow-up engage like the Rakan, he can't get onto the back line. And you can always flex him into that jungle role with you already having your support and your top lane locked in. It's Wukong as the final ban from MKOI. First time we've seen that fall this far down in the draft for a while, but Team Secret Wales obviously not prioritizing it early here.
So I was going to say, are we going to get the Jarvan curse with the Sion blessing and see which one is stronger?
Jarvan
it looks like
is 3-0 in his last 3 games. He is swapped away from the curse.
Two of those teams that won with it are eliminated already. Fnatic and PSG both got eliminated after winning with Jarvan.
Okay, Team Secret Wales, you can win this game. After that, we'll see what happens. But yeah, there's the Jarvan locked in. in. MKOI looking for a little bit more disengage, some CC protection with this Braum.
Yeah, the thing is, though, it's like Sion into the Trundle again. Like, I think this opens up so many opportunities to even take traditional AD carries that you wouldn't have to go for, like the Ezreal that wouldn't traditionally get through a Sion, but because you're stealing all those stats, now you're actually fine to go for that pick because that Sion is significantly less tankier and it offers you a bunch of safety into things like the Jarvan. Plus, Supa's just been a fantastic Ezreal when he's been able to play it, but it looks like it is going to be the core key, the lane neutralizer instead.
Yeah, you don't want Jarvan to have too many immobile carries to go after, so they get the extra dash here with the Corki, and his toe is probably going to be looking towards Orianna to try and pressure burn his flash as much as possible. Meanwhile, Dire, here we go. The final counter pick into the mid lane, into the Orianna that they gave over. We were suspecting the Galio. It is his most played, was his most played for summer. They are going to lock it in, and that is going to put a lot of pressure on Eddie to be the carry. That is the damage source. This is 4 beef balls and Yunara.
And the question for MKOI is, can they get through those beef balls quickly enough? Or can they perhaps find a way onto the backline? If that Mbessa finds a good ult onto the Yunara, it's very tricky for her to survive through the burst. But you do have enough disengage with the Alistair, with the Galio, with the Jarvan who can jump onto MKOI. For Team Secret Wales, front to back is all they really want to do here. MKOI, relatively similar, in all honesty. They don't have the easiest ball delivery system either, really relying on that Mbessa.
Yeah, and I think that's where it's going to be trying to find flanks, trying to use the terrain creation that you have on MKOI to force Team Secret Wales into uncomfortable spots that opens up for Mirren in those flank chances. And the second Mbessa actually locks you up, that's when you can just command protect and get that quick shockwave. So definitely you can find Eddie in these fights. That can be the key to victory here for MKOI. But again, I am kind of nervous for them on just that early skirmish power that is coming out from Team Secret Wales. This Jarvan Galio combo on Invades post level 6 is so devastating for this Trundle if you don't have flash.
Really is. Team Secret Wales here trying to prove that the LCP is not just a one-team region. It is not only about the Flying Oysters, but the Whales alongside them, trying to carry themselves through to that 2-2 spot. For MKOI, looking for redemption against the LCP and at Worlds. Like, Mad Lions at Worlds was a meme for a very long time in the European region, and over the last 3 series, MKOI or Mad Lions, KOI have played up against the LCP. They have been on the losing side.
Yeah, a lot here on the Team Secret Wales shoulders. Not only are they a representative of the LCP, but they're entirely a Vietnamese team, and Vietnam has such a huge fan base for League of Legends, a huge player base. And this team being the youngest team at the entire tournament, there is a lot of pressure on their shoulders.
And does oftentimes represent that new hope for Vietnam, especially as you see guys like Kiaya and Levi who have been around for quite a while, and on GAM that has been the team that tends to represent Vietnam at a lot of these internationals. It's now this new blood that is coming in and has taken down GAM to get here, which makes them so exciting for so many Vietnamese fans.
It's kind of the new blood with the old heads. Taki, the only player on this team that has been to Worlds before, all the way back in 2022, where Elioya beat him in play-ins to have a face-off against Evil Geniuses, where Jojo beat him to make it into the main stage. It's a long time ago that we saw Jojo and Taki back on this world stage, and here they are facing off in an elimination series again.
Yeah, Jojo joining forces now with Elioya, and to great effect, and that is one of the combinations that we will be looking at pretty heavily in this game. You just saw the Aegis pop up there. If you're looking at the jungle and mid lane matchup, as we actually see bottom lane with a decent trade there. But the jungle mid lane matchup, you know, those are the 2 youngest players at the tournament on the side of Team Secret Wales going against Elioya and Jojo. So we'll see if the Jarvan can put the expected pressure on Orianna. You know, we're expecting from draft Jarvan and Galio, very, very CC heavy combinations. And Jojo has always been one of our strongest laners in the West. Even when he was in the LCS, he plays very aggressively. He tries to trade on you whenever you go for CS. And in Orianna versus Galio matchup, you're always trying to put a lot of pressure, go for health trades, and try and push them out.
Yeah, try to use that clockwork wind-up passive as well, getting the consecutive auto attacks on a single target, doing more damage for each auto attack. So he's stepping past the wave, using Command Protect to eat the Winds of War and not actually have his health bar be lowered. Both the junglers passing down towards the bottom side. Histo here already on his blue and his Gromp, whereas Elioy is just moving away from his red. Consistent trades in the bottom lane as well, with Alvaro using that heal earlier on.
I do think Histo has to be a little bit careful pre-level 6 though, because if you end up jumping in onto with the Flaggy Drag to the Trundle, it then opens up very quickly for Elioya to turn a bunch of damage back around, have that Trundle pillar to just make your life really uncomfortable in trying to escape. Post 6 becomes a little bit easier because you tend to have the Cataclysm and the Galio to follow, which is why MKOI now trying to go for these kind of cheeky invades and get the control down for Elioya so he can enable the favorable matchup in the early stages.
Histo skipping a Scuttlecraft for a gank in the mid lane. Jojo's going to have to flash away from the Justice Punch. Histo just has a little bit of a drive-by, autos one of the minions. Elioya leaving the bot side Scuttlecraft to go and try and fight towards the top side. Alvaro trading in here with the Unbreakable. There's the stun onto Taki. Taki pops the heal afterwards though, and Super's down to half HP. Concussive Blow's almost procced as Histo dives in. Elioya looking for the trade onto him. Chomp, chomp, chomp goes the Trundle. Dyer stepping forward down to 200. Gets the taunt, but gets smacked across the head with a club. Histo almost escapes, but the red's enough for Elioya. A double for the Troll.
Oh, Elioya, that pillar was beautiful. He pillared the Justice Punch there, completely stuffed Dyer's Galio, and then just wins the 2v2. Okay, Trundle doesn't have like crazy mechanics, but that was really good Trundle play right there.
He does have one mechanic that's going well, but Taki the bottom
Has
side
to
now.
flash away the Gatling gun though, hitting him in the bush, and Super gets the third on the board for MKOI.
It's going off for MKOI across the map. 2 kills onto this Trundle in the early stages, and now the kill for Supa in this bottom lane. Team Secret Wales are not enjoying the start of this.
Chomp, chomp, chomp. Elioya will be fed, and that spells danger. He has gone all of the offensive components early of the Trinity Force. Was able to get full sheen and everything. And honestly, it started out with a good timing for Team Secret Wales. You know, they saw Elioya on the ward there. You can see in River that is still existing on the bottom side. But then they stick around and they're on vision as well. So Elioya takes this fight. He likes it. Starts out with the chomp fight with Jarvan. He knows Galio is going to come over and try and, combine with the fight. And so he times his pillar perfectly, expecting the play, and then just completely brutalizes them, even gets off the last bit of damage.
I think for Team Secret Wales, you're looking at Jojo in that situation saying he's got no mana, he's got one command attack, it's basically a 2v1 for us, but not realizing that Trundle often wins those.
Yeah, Trundle likes those odds.
Yeah.
And also just Clockwork Wind-Up does do so much damage, so despite the Orianna having no actual mana left, she was fine to just go for the play, and now MKOI in a fantastic position, especially as Elioya has been accelerated. He's now in a position that every time Histo tries to go for plays, like he might be looking for on that bottom side of the map, that's where, again, you can have Elioya match and constantly win out, and it just makes this game really uncomfortable now for Histo.
Yeah. When Trundle gets ahead and the opponent team is 4 melees, then you are in trouble. Trundle can really, really thrive against a lot of these beef balls. So.
At least he doesn't have something like a Scion in the top lane to steal all those really tanky stats to make him really survivable.
Or something like a Braum to help him get concussive blows on multiple people in a short-range fight. Elioya here shadowing his bot side as they push in the wave. That means they'll go for the Dragon. Team Secret Wales on that back foot. Don't expect them to contest this. They know they're not able to get into the driver's seat right now, as MKOI will start up the Drake. It's a little bit of a move from Dyer. Histo is on his way across as well. Taki looking for the engage here as the Arc of Judgment comes out from Eddie for a little bit of a slurkle. Hero's entrance onto the back line. Elioya doesn't have flash and he's alone in the back of the pit. The exhaust on Dyer is enough though. Shockwave coming out is going to catch up to Taki. Elioya already down as they look for a bit more of a trade, but Alvaro is now stuck by himself in the pit. Another slurkle, a flash from Eddie. It's going to be 2 for the Wales.
The best part about Team Secret Wales, they do not sit on losses. They will fight their way out, and they're still fighting.
Super in the shop instead of watching his screen as Histo collapses on him, stops his reset, but Super underneath the tower here should be able to go away. Histo looking for the flag and drag. He gets him, he gets the shield, and he gets out. Beautiful from Team Secret Wales.
That was so well played by Histo, knowing he had the damage, Super not respecting it, and Histo hits level 6 off of it as well, so even if Jojo tried to help him, he'd only be giving him a way out with the Cataclysm.
And he got a quick recall off there. He didn't go into the vision of the ward that was behind red buff. So he even gets out in a pretty timely manner. See, never give up on the plays. Really good contest there from TSW, even though they're gonna lose the Dragon, still contesting afterwards to chase down the kills.
In the Vietnamese community, in the LCP community, there is a saying about Team Secret Wales. I'll tell you after this fight.
Yeah, I mean, it was just the overextension coming through from MKOI. They get the Dragon, and they think, okay, we can try and take the fight, but because you get the Galio sent into the backline, Elyoya is completely separated from the rest of the team. Taki and Histo were able to shove Supa away, who actually ends up CC for quite a while in the middle of this fight, and it's Eddie who's just fine on that backline to deal with Elyoya, flashes over for Alvaro, and sets up perfectly now where he's got some of the kills that were necessary for this composition to work.
And this from Histo as well, just chasing afterwards. As soon as you see Supa go around this corner, you're kind of like, okay, he's Valkyrie'd out, he's out. Histo so willing to go for more of the fight, even without his Cataclysm.
Yeah, ward's over, gets a confirmation of the vision, EQs in, nobody punishes, and looks like he gets out of grubs as well with 2 of them in tow, so they get the objective credit. In addition, they were the first ones to the MKOI was actually the first ones to the first 3 kills, so they have that feat's credit.
That they do. We'll be fighting over the next couple of objectives for these teams, or the first tower for MKOI if they're able to secure that. I was saying the saying in the Vietnamese community about Team Secret Wales as Alvaro looks for Taki here. As Taki flashes in immediately to the engage, Histo is coming around the corner looking for the follow-up. Super locked up, there's the Cataclysm. Lock him in the cage, it's 1, they're looking for 2. Alvaro has no escape, and Eddie is shredding MKOI.
Taki and Histo finding the combo they need to lock down Supa and Alvaro, and what started off so well for MKOI has already started to slip completely out of their grasp.
If you are playing a 1-threat comp, you want the kills on that 1 threat. Eddie here does have the Kraken Slayer completed now on the Yunar after that 2nd kill. Histo also is going to be a threat though. The Jarvan's getting a lot of these kills and did get one of the earlier shutdowns as well.
This was just great from Taki. Spots Supa, immediately flashes forward, gets the pulverize into the headbutt, and they're trying to help out here by getting the stun on towards Eddie, but it's just too late. Histo's like, I'm in, I'm Superman, I'm taking down the plane.
And we promised action between these 2 teams, and we are definitely getting it. Almost a kill a minute so far in this early game. Taki level 6, Alvaro not yet across towards that ultimate mark. And Supa and Alvaro have to be a little bit cautious because Histo's in the area. Jojo, he's been a little bit involved, but mostly all's been quiet in this mid lane, and because of that, he's built up a 30 CS lead. But the lead is not as great as Eddie's over Supa. That's a 1,000 gold lead in the bot lane.
And you've got more to come as well. That cull that you so often pick up on the Yunara because of the synergies is going to end up popping, which is only going to snowball him as well. It becomes very difficult now for Supa and Alvaro to contest the wave states, as you can see. And this means you're going to start to put pressure on towards turret plates, and these observers feel like they're toying with us. I think Histo's here.
Histo going in with a flag and drag once again. Glacial Fisher out from Alvaro, stands beside his teammate while the public execution goes down to the top side. Alvaro's going to fall. Mirwin looking for the damage onto Pun because Elyoya's in the area. Does have that subjugate. They're waiting for the wave to crash in here. Supa has to back away from the bot side. Meanwhile, on the top side, MKOI decide they're not going to go for the dive. So for Team Secret Wales, a great exchange.
Huge stuff from Histo this game. You know, after the failure in the 2v2 mid, thought it was going to be very difficult for him to get back into this game, but constant fighting and chasing down these kills, this Jarvan is truly getting fed. Actually has overtaken the early lead that Elyoya built up.
But that's the thing, it feels like when it comes to Team Secret Wales, they never give up. They will always keep chasing, they'll always find their fights.
And that's the saying that they know, that they use in the Vietnamese community is, how we win. I'm not going to say it in Vietnamese because my pronunciation would be awful, but the idea is Team Secret Wales can be 10,000 gold behind and somehow still find a win, and they can be 10,000 gold ahead and somehow still find a loss, as Pun is caught out here with the shockwave, should be able to walk away from Jojo Pun. No real follow-up from the rest of the team. A command attack won't be enough even with that clockwork wind-up auto attack, and Pun just walks it out.
Also, even though Jarvan has been the target of a lot of scrutiny at this World Championship, Histo was one of the successful ones. Yep. Even though they lost to KT, he still had some very good Jarvan plays in that game, and certainly has had some in this game. So Dragon will be collected for their side with their marginal gold lead, but we'll see about the payment on the other side because MKOI want to dive.
Yeah, they're going to go underneath the tower here.
Dragon exchanged for it for Team Secret Wales. Pun flashing away there. Elyoya Yeah, you know, you pop the subjugate, you get a couple of plates. MKOI will be happy enough with that. They were trying to find something on the other side of the map, knowing that Team Secret Wales had their jungler down towards the bottom side. Merwin here trying to steal away these Krugs, but really more of a nuisance to his toe than anything else.
I mean, you're going to be delighted with that as Team Secret Wales. You managed to steal away a little bit of the camps. You don't end up with your top laner getting dove, and you're getting DAZN mirroring off of this bot lane turret. And coming back to what Kobe was saying yesterday on the desk, like, these are the kind of styles where Jarvan can succeed because you've got an immobile Orianna on the other side that you can look to focus down, because you've got that added pressure from the Galio that can come over the top. This is where this game, sure, you've got great scaling, but
Eddie's just going in, pops the ultimate, and Super's just dead! Eddie on a killing spree, 3-0-3.
When will people learn you can't approach Yunara? As soon as she gets the Kraken Slayer, she is so strong, and they are not scared of popping that ultimate to chase you down.
Yeah, respect to the Q charge up there. I mean, he just absolutely destroys him. Supa as well, blowing the flash on top of it. Going down is one thing, but going down and losing the summoner spell, you mentioned it, they could target Orianna. Now there's no flash on the Corki, so all you really have is the Valk, and Jarvan plus Galio plus Alistar, they will be coming for your head.
Plus Sion, he's looking for the chase as well, as it's going to be really tricky for Super to survive a next team fight. The good thing for him is there's still a minute before the Rift Herald, and MKOI could decide to give that up if they wanted. After that, the next neutral objective is that Cloud Drake coming up in 3 minutes' time.
So I also have noticed in some moments, Eddie does have pretty strong hubris. Like, he is one of the AD carries that when he's feeling it, he is really feeling it. And we did have the one play, you know, where he hits Kaisa W and he's like, well, I don't have vision of everybody else, but I'll still go in. So he has to be a little bit careful because he is the entire team's damage, basically. Yes, especially in the early game, you know, there's a lot of base damages on all the other meatballs and stuff, but he has to be more careful with this lead that he does have.
I 100% agree, but I think at least the saving grace for him is like Jojo going a pretty defensive build with the Rod of Ages, so not going to be that big explosive damage that you get from something like the Hextech Gunblade. He's more got to worry about like Merwin having access to the back line, and in theory, as long as Taki has that exhaust ready on the Unsealed Spellbook, should be able to survive in some of these fights.
Yeah, and in this type of game, when you are playing with 4 peelers, you got to trust your team. Eddie has to trust in his team. Hey, I'm going to go full offensive. It's on you guys to peel for me. It's on you guys to keep me
Trust
up.
fall.
Yeah. Plus, if my AD carry is that far ahead, I kind of want him to go for some, you know, crazy offensive stuff.
Step up, Ian. Look for the fights wherever you can. Pillar down here by Elioyo as Daya uses that taunt just to walk his way away. The good thing for Eddie as well is there's minimal engage on MKOI, right? If you're surviving through the public execution, there's no follow-up really after that. You have a Braum jumping in, maybe a Shockwave, but you guys already talked about how low damage this Orianna is in the early game. Herald started by MKOI as Histo walks across from the side. Herald down to about 5,000. Taki gets a knock-up on both. Alvaro jumped on Super trying to get away, but he's dead where he stands. Alvaro in that redemption. Herald still the target. Elioyo will smite it and secure it. Now needs to get out of the back of the pit. Does have the flash, but he's knocked up. Will flash into the Tribush. Histo still on the chase with Eddie diving in. It's another, but Eddie as MKOI are rattled.
Histo and Eddie are just the Bash brothers in this game, destroying MKOI. I mean, yeah, they lost the Rift Herald, but they're going to chase down even more kills.
Dive in, Histo with the flag and drag. Alvaro able to stand beside his teammate. Taki goes in with the knock-up, Unbreakable down as well. They still have the Shockwave, but Eddie finds another. Jojo dies where he stands, gets one in response, but Team Secret Wales are ruling the Rift.
Taki with the honorable death there sets up Team Secret Wales for more kills for the tower. And this game started off with MKOI 3-0, and Team Secret Wales are completely blowing through them.
Put some respect on Vietnam. Let's take a look at this one. Again, the bottom of your screen, Histo and Eddie absolutely demolish them. In goes Alistar, Taki sets it up, and Suba just gets annihilated. Nowhere for him to go, even got exhausted. The Galio ultimate was just even unnecessary. By that time, they had already destroyed him, but they could continue the steamroll.
Yeah, I mean, it was for stall points in the Galio ult, and it's Eddie who's looking so clean on the back of this, flashing over to finish off the kills. And again now, this Yunara is massive. 5-0-5, already 2 items deep. Like, this is going to be so difficult for MKOI to try and deal with.
I will say, we'll keep track if the flash, on Yunara does get punished, not having that one for later. But honestly, I like it. Go with the hype. Continue to push for these extra kills and snowball the lead. They're even going to get some outer towers in trade. Dragon as well should be picked up. I'm thinking that Pun is going to be able to defend this for a while on the top side, but all the rest of MKOI can go make the cross-map play, and especially as Trundle's coming over, they will shred through him.
Yeah, they do need Supa up here, and he's on the way, so I think maybe this could be it for Pun. TP though.
Shockwave to save the way from the decimating smash. TP coming out, Pun flashing underneath the tower, and will be bolstered by the defenses of Dire.
Nice, crop mat defense here from Team Secret Whales. They're still going to get the Dragon, but invest the teleport here to keep the tower alive for now.
Going back in here with the taunt. The chase continues for Alvaro and Jojo Pyun, but they won't be able to find too much. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Super is surrounded by Taki and Eddie. We're looking for Elioya on this blue buff. Taki with a headbutt pulverize once again. Eddie puts the damage down. Won't have enough to work his way through his Trundle quite yet. The Super looks for a bit of a collapse. With Histo moving across, it will be dangerous for MKOI to take this fight.
Yeah, you don't even have to get a kill. It's just about pushing MKOI back right now. You push in top side. You have the potential here to shift over towards mid lane if you want to. Histo stole the Raptor camp and now the blue camp on the top side. Team Secret Whales are dictating everything on this map right now.
And their timers are going to be pretty straightforward. This team is all about, going for the objectives, trying to draw you to them. This team is obviously not built to siege, straight up siege, so they want to draw MKOI out to these fights where they can make use of their heavy engage and create that space for Eddie to win these team fights. So the Dragon stacking is imperative that they keep it up for Team Secret Whales in order to find that path to victory.
And MKOI left reeling through this early game, 19 minutes in, 4,000 gold behind, and the majority of that sits on Eddie's shoulders. 2 items already complete, has the upgraded plated steel caps as well, just from those feats of strength. And for MKOI, you're looking at it, you have a Rod of Ages at 7 stacks, you've got 2 Triforces, but no one really has a second item yet apart from Jojo with that Horizon focus. Histo waiting to see if someone comes to cover this top side. Won't find anyone for the moment.
Yeah, you really do need from MKOI side, like a big ultimate from Mirren followed by Jojo Pyun to hopefully pick off Eddie, but Team Secret Whales aren't giving them a chance again. They're invading on this top side, just keeping MKOI back underneath their own towers and allowing them this swift movement through this topside jungle. I'd love to see Team Secret Whales try and shift that pressure in towards a mid lane tower take or trying to zone MKOI away from it, but it is difficult at the moment with that Cloud Soul being able to allow MKOI to shift just as quickly back and forth.
Taki caught out as the rest of his team backs. He's going to pop that Unbreakable Wing, goes in with a headbutt pulverize. Eddie trying to come in from the side as well. Super needs that Redemption Cataclysm flashed away from as the Hero's entrance comes down. Mirwin flashing away from his own TP. Pun now on the front line, jumps straight into Alvaro, who's trying to protect his Ambessa. The concussive blows, the Shockwave finds 3. Jojo trying to turn Team Secret Whales into poutine, but he can't quite do it. Pun falls, 2 for Jojo now as Super walks underneath his tower and does manage to get away. Meanwhile, on the top side, Arakan, MKOI's next prize.
MKOI finally found the fight that they needed. The fact that Alvaro ends up jumping over the wall back into the Ambessa and Histo swaps places means that they're able to find the fight they need, at least get something back for themselves.
The Otacon call slightly hasty from me with the jungler still alive. Histo staying around Mirwin. Trying to walk through the darkness here, make sure those recalls go off before he comes out. Mirwin might know, but doesn't quite get the auto attack down in time. Eddie escapes.
Is going to be interesting too because they got some money off this fight, of course, for MKOI, but critically they also got both summoner spells off the Yunara. So look at the re-engage here. Braum on the front lines gets the Unbreakable up and gets the heal off. Here goes Ambessa ultimate over the top after they had already taken down the front line.
And crucially, as you say, Eddie getting that flash means that he's able to escape away, but MKOI more than happy to find that fight. And again, it was just that overextension being punished from Team Secret Whales.
And we're going to start to see Jojo really carry some weight here. That Orianna Shockwave already doing some heavy lifting. He has the Horizon focus done plus the Blighting Jewel, so creating some of the magic penetration. And the Rod of Ages has fully stacked, so the full value is here with the extra level. And he's really into that Orianna power curve that everyone knows and respects at the current World Championship. Like, this champion is early picked for a reason.
And alongside Mirren, who hasn't really been a part of much, but has been able to get a nice little gold lead for himself when it comes to the CES, is in a good spot. Like 2 items now complete on the Mbessa. If you can find that combo to lock down Eddie and work in conjunction with Jojo, I think you still have a chance here as MKOI. But as you can see, like, that was Team Secret Wales on an overextension. Eddie is still in a very good spot to carry, and if you can slow the pace of this game down until Eddie gets those summoner spells back up, you're in a decent spot for Team Secret Wales.
And another interesting consequence of the team comp that TSW are running is that MKOI feel confident to have Jojo split pushing. So Jojo has really kept up his CS numbers. Yeah, he did have a pretty easy early lane into a Galio, but he's also kept up his 10 CS per minute with this Orianna, which is critical and leading to this large gold lead that he does have now on top of those kills, really making that big threat.
Especially if you can lane into Pun on this Scion. He's got basically no magic. It's just the Aegis sitting there, no Merc Treads as Mirwin's engaged on. Redemption coming out. Mirwin looking for the fight here onto his toe. Taki going in with the headbutt pulverize, and there's the TP follow-up. Mirwin was isolated from the rest of his team. Team Secret Wales turn their attentions towards the top side. Exhaust down onto Dire. Ball put in the middle of them, but no shockwave cord as of yet. Another Winter's Bite coming out from Alvaro just for the slow. MKOI want to fight this, but Taki's in prime position for this flank. Jojo will be able to spot him out with Elyoya. Taki goes in, but the rest of his team not on the same page. And Alistair ticking down the missile just short of catching his backside. Pun now the target, stunned up with those concussive blows. Shockwave finds Eddie. Hero's entrance coming down for the magic damage shield as the chase continues. Jojo's going to kill off Pun, but he's going to use the zombie form to keep everyone else away from Elyoya. Elyoya falls. It's a great fight for Team Secret Wales.
Team Secret Wales are using the terrain so well in this fight, kiting back into that tri-brush so they can set up their front line. And Histo, maybe once more, he knows Supa's low, won't quite be able to find it though.
Yeah, zombie form value there as well. You know, this is one of the huge benefits of this champion. Pun creating so much space. And one of the unseen things with Jarvan as well, people often forget about the Q shredding armor. That plus the black cleaver, they're able to just melt through Elyoya. So we take another look. Taki goes in, gets chunked out, and even with the late Alistar ultimate there, he still survives running away from it. Then Pun on the front line. It's got the sacrifice with the Scion there, but it's okay because of the champion and the Galio ult still able to peel. See on the top side, Elyoya is getting shredded as Histo is able to shred the armor there, and the Yunara does take him down, but the zombie form kind of pushing all the rest of MKOI back.
And but you can see in the start of these engagements how dangerous that Team Secret Wales bounce house is. As soon as you get caught by one, it's knock up after knock up after knock up. So you have to be so careful on MKOI's side as to who is actually going to face check a lot of these brushes, because you don't actually have someone that's particularly tanky. Like your Braum has a redemption. Sure, he can throw up the shield, but he will get taken down. I think that's what Team Secret Wales are playing very well around, is looking for members of MKOI as they enter into the dark zones.
TSW now one Drake away from Soul as they take another Cloud. MKOI starting up the Artican. TP's coming out from Team Secret Wales, as you say, going down quite quickly, but Histo is here. Alro gets the Winter's Bite. 5,000 now on the Artican. Pun with the Decimating Smash just to force MKOI up towards this top side. Redemption coming out. Mirwin looking for a flank of his own. Eddie has his flash though, so it's going to be very difficult to get onto him. Unstoppable Onslaught used. Alro with Glacial Fissure. There's the Artican secured by Histo. Pun still on that front line, and MKOI all grouped up for the Cataclysm. And here comes your hero! Dire dives in, lands the taunt, and MKOI are shredded. Mirwin on the back line, but Team Secret Wales wrap around him like piranhas to get a couple more as the fight continues. Team Secret Wales able to back away with the Artican. It ends up being a 1-for-1 exchange. Just the supports going down. Looked like it could have been much more deadly for Team Secret Wales.
Honestly, it looked like a bit of an early redemption from Alvaro, maybe panic stations from MKOI as they try to find that fight, but Team Secret Wales, it's dire stock for them in this one because that Galio is making it tough for them.
And Team Secret Wales, they make the call, okay, we're going to create space to push them off Otacon so that Histo can get the objective first. Then we Scion ultimate in to create that space, push the 4 members of MKOI back, including Elyoya. Histo then burns the Otacon. They get the double knockup on this group, and then watch Histo flash ulti into flag and drag out to try and keep them in the Galio ultimate. But even with that, the shockwave there from Jojo does peel for the team, and Merwin on the Mbessa able to flash his way out to keep the casualties at 1-1, as you said.
And I love Eddie's position in that fight as well. Consistently staying on the top left part of the fight because he knows Mirren is on the bottom right, trying to keep away from that potential of the public execution. Maybe Jojo Pyun's ultimate can come in, but Team Secret Wales are playing so well around these multiple threats in the MKOI lineup.
And guess what? You know, even though they survived, now JoJo, no flash on the Orianna. So Histo can go for another play onto this Orianna. Galio plus Jarvan, incredibly threatening. And this Yunara, if the Yunara goes untouched, this is full crit Yunara looking at the big DPS scaling here for this champion through the clumped team fights.
Yeah, that Infinity Edge now complete. He's in such a strong position. Super struggling. Only has the Mana Moon, a Trinity Force, and a couple of swords to his name. Pun here stepping in, keeping Elyoya interested. Next Drake up in 2 minutes time, so still a while before that soul is available for TSW.
Still this mid lane turret stands though, and MKOI going to be kind of using that as that bastion to pivot off of for a lot of these plays. Like, it lets them play very far up to keep tabs on Baron, to keep tabs on the Dragon that you were just talking about, Medic, in 2 minutes time. And I think that's kind of where we see what has been some of the fall points of Team Secret Wales, the ability to close out a game, to push that game forward. And yes, they have a lead, and yes, that Dragon is going to be a big focal point for them, but I'm curious, can they find a way to close this game out clean?
Yeah, I think the mid game is really, really critical, especially for this team comp, because they have some big power spikes coming up. With Guardian Angel, if you can get Guardian Angel on Jarvan, it allows you to force so heavily on the fights that have big rewards. Cloud Soul, as well as Baron being available on the map. These are the points that Team Secret Wales really need to nail right now coming up to hammer this game home.
And on the flip side, if you give the chance for Jojo Pyun to finish off things like the Zhonya's Hourglass that I imagine he's working towards, suddenly that dive potential becomes a little bit less threatening. Not having a flash gives you a second lease of life. So I think that's where Team Secret Wales kind of need to keep the ball rolling in their favor. Not saying that they don't scale incredibly well, just MKOI have that burst potential, as you can see.
The damage onto Eddie, he turns it back onto Super. Valkyrie's in. Elyoya trading with Histo towards the top side, but it's a Randuin's Trinity Force Trundle, and that's not going to do too much work. Just tries to keep Histo at bay. 40 seconds before that Cloud Drake. Team Secret Wales just using their pressure to push in this mid wave. Obviously, they want the tower, and they should be able to get it. With super low, TSW push in and will crack through that mid tier 1.
All right, the moment of truth approaches. 25 seconds, and they're going for the resets. This means that Team Secret Wales will be a little bit slow to get to the actual Dragon fight. Allows MKOI some early movements. Maybe this is MKOI's chance if they get an early setup here and can try and take advantage of the staggered resets here from TSW.
Taki was reset twice, and he doesn't have any wards in his inventory.
He also just uses TP to get to that top side Atakan fight, so no TP available on the Unsealed Spellbook.
See MKOI taking their time to try and deny as much vision here as possible. Histo steps in, goes in with the Cataclysm, unstoppable onslaught, blocked by the walls. Jojo, though, caught out as Alvaro tries to protect his mid laner. Hero's entrance in by Dio, TP behind them. The shockwave not connecting as Team Secret Wales already found one in the fight. Histo looking for a little bit more. There's the second. Eddie's going to get a double. There's Soul for them, and probably Baron alongside it.
They win the critical fight here. TSW, they walk in, and they take everything from MKOI.
Elyoya chased out. They want to take him out just so that he can't contest this Baron. The Soul will be Team Secret Wales. 30 minutes in, 4.5K ahead. A Cloud Soul at their backs in this MasterCard priceless moment of the game.
And Team Secret Wales will get the Soul by keeping the heart of their composition alive. It's Eddie every single time who is having the protection of his life in these fights. And every time MKOI try to make a play, it just does not work.
Histo flashing the white flag here as they're going to claim the Baron. We said these were the moments they're going to have to nail, and they nailed it. Histo himself, he targeted Supa and pushed Supa kind of up to the other side of the fight, which allowed the rest of TSW to focus on Jojo and take down that Ori.
There's also this ward in the Razorbeak pit where Dyer gets a TP behind Jojo Pyun.
Yeah, and also then the big ultimate coming through from Dyer, and again, it's Eddie who's able to reposition on towards the back half of the fight. That makes it so difficult for MKOI to actually get access to it.
Yeah, I love it. Eddie looking to use aggressively flash in so he can follow up and kill this Orianna very quickly. Him just working so well with Taki there on the other side of the fight and taking out basically the biggest threat that they're facing at the moment so quickly, just made it look really easy for TSW.
And what a start to this series for Team Secret Wales, beating VKS on day one, losing to Katie, losing to Fly. I think a lot of people wondered whether the VKS best of one was just a flash in the pan. Here they come out, 5,500 gold ahead at the 32-minute mark, a Soul at their backs, a Baron at their backs, a 5,500 gold lead on Eddie, who's played this Yunara 3 times and has about a 21 KDA on it, because he doesn't tend to die. And it's just incredible stuff from the LCP number 2 seed.
The LCP demanding respect at Worlds 2025, and they are getting it.
And it's funny to see because it was MKOI who wanted to face off against CFO, but they can't even get through the first part of LCP to get to the raid boss on the other side as Team Secret Wales stepping forward now. They want to go for this bot lane turret and then deny access from MKOI to that structure.
They'll be able to do it. Team Secret Wales dotting the I's, crossing the T's. Histo dives in a little deep here. Concussive blows comes out, but a good Mikhails from Taki will cleanse away that stun. Still the Guardian Angel on Histo's shoulders. With Galio pushing in the mid lane, Team Secret Wales want to try and crash these two waves at the same time, but they don't quite align them as well as they would like.
Rabadon's death cap now completed for Jojo Kyun though, so if they can find that fight, there is the burst damage behind Jojo to try and take them across the finish line. But Team Secret Wales have played this excellently. They really just have not given a chance for Eddie to get caught out whatsoever. And even now, still having the barrier, still having the support that he needs, it feels so difficult for MKOI to find that fight.
Yeah, that's why it's so critical for TSW to get the Baron buff. This allows them to just destroy these towers without a lot of effort.
Pillar goes down on Sluggy, he's down to half HP. Histo going in as well. The tower is going to fall. Unstoppable Onslaught will find the knockup onto Elyoya. Chase comes in with a hero's entrance. Jojo pinned the target. He manages to flash out. Taki going back in for the re-engage. Eddie goes legendary as Team Secret Wales just slowly roll their way through the MKOI base.
There's just nothing MKOI can do. Team Secret Wales, the beefcakes are out in full force, and it's Supa who's already at half HP.
Yeah, Eddie is just untouched on this backline. Histo still has the Guardian Angel. He's going to dive forward once again. Hun goes down underneath the towers, but he's actually still alive somehow as Dyer dives back in with the Justice Punch. Supa forced away towards the top side. Eddie's still standing. Elyoya and Supa trying to defend against Team Secret Wales here. And they might be able to do it with the Baron falling off. Reset's going to come out from Dyer. He does have his teleport. Eddie's flash about to come off. Cooldown has the barrier as well. Supa pots a barrier of his own. The pillar goes down. Eddie out of tower range just in time as Dyer now TP's back in. Alvaro is going to come back from the fountain. Supa trying to heal up before his Nexus towers go down. The Unbreakable used to block the shots. Justice Punch in with the taunt. Supa coming in with the Gatling gun, but he can't get onto that backline. Eddie is low. MKOI know it. They have to kill this AD carry, but they just can't get through.
Team Secret Wales don't die!
Team Secret Wales. It's beautiful from TSW. Elyoya, the last man standing, but Eddie kites him like an absolute madman. TSW 1-0 up.
What a game here from TSW. We thought it was going to be 4 beef balls and 1 threat. Turned out to be 5 threats, I feel like. Histo, really good game on the Jarvan.